Hi guys, this is Merlin. Today I'm just gonna talk about what I learned today. Like right now, as you guys know, I'm making a B-tree. So I'm implementing B-tree, those kind of algorithm, whatever data structure using TypeScript. And the reason I'm trying to implement the B-tree, that's because that's the algorithm that being used in indexing in the DB. So like last video, I just talked about what is indexing, what is index file, those kind of things. But so my goal is to launch desktop, like small, like really minimal DB app. But how is it possible? I'm front-end engineer. I'm specialized in web front-end engineer, so I'm a client engineer. But the reason that it's worked is because the Electron supports React bit. So basically, I can use my TypeScript with the React code in this Electron, which is the framework for Otterbuild is kind of framework for the developing the desktop app. So, but the thing I was kind of like confused was like there's only little desktop app that being open sourced via Electron, but I really don't know why. Like VS Code and Slack, they're using Discord, they're using like Electron React. I don't know if it's React based, but I believe that that's Electron based. But there's only few Electron based desktop application, and also with the React, so there's only little. And the reason why I got confused because in my theory there's nothing problem with it, because so Electron, if you look at Electron, it uses a lot of like your like desktop, your OS related API or whatever stuff, but the rendering logic, it uses Chromium. So it says like in the rendering logic, they utilize the Chromium for the rendering. Since the render process, because in the Chromium, in the Chrome, there's a lot of process, because Chrome is the browser, and which is also has multi-process which is also multi-process application. But the thing is that there's render process, but the render process is single-threaded, and since it is really separated from the main logic of communicating your desktop environment, it's really separated. So it can just communicate with the IPC. But my question is, why does it? Yeah, it was so weird to me. Why does not really open source? Why there's not only few open source applications? Since if I do some kind of node based logic, I can just send IPC to the React, this kind of process. And since React also supports the async await, there's a server component, so I can use await on the using React component. So it doesn't really. But also, since we are not going to do some kind of heavy. I'm not gonna use some kind of heavy frameworks like Next.js, those kind of thing. Why I'm not gonna use these Next.js because or other framework. I'm gonna use SPA. I think I don't need really SSU for it. The reason why I think just mapping the SPA is really good, is kind of good, is because the reason why the Next.js and other SSR like SSG is the reason why that's come from is because that is limited on CSR. The client-side rendering is that the problem is that when you have, I just talk about the broader have render process, and it's single threaded. First, we're just gonna parse HTML. Next, It was just gonna do like CSS whatever stuff. But next is the problem is that the client-side rendering is basically your JavaScript is gonna be do all of thing, even the putting the HTML. So JavaScript is gonna be like this. And also the browser is application. So there should be limitation of sending resources to your process, your tab, because you can open a lot of tabs, right? Each tab in the browser it's the process. So there's also multi-process. So in your tab is one of the process in your browser. And even that in this small process, it has to communicate with the render process, those kind of thing. So in your even the browser app is really kind of huge into like compared to like small application, and also you're trying to do the rendering logic inside the browser app. So moreover you have to communicate with the HTML CSS JavaScript because you have to make some kind of static server for serving HTML CSS JavaScript. But if you look at the like desktop app using Electron, they don't really get the some kind of from the HTML because it basically uses Chromium to renders your desktop application in your desktop. So HTML is already there. HTML CSS JavaScript is already there, and you just have to let Electron to do whatever stuff. So in that perspective, this rendering in this rendering CSR and SSR SSG are not really big deal. Not really big deal in Electron desktop app. I mean really, of course, because your desktop app is really it can get like more resource than like mobile web browser. So CSR SSR is not really a big deal because because if you're not really making a huge application, CSR SSG is not really different. It's not, but SSG is gonna be really give some kind of impact, but I don't think SSR really is gonna make your app web Electron based React into faster. I think it's just like it could be faster, but it's gonna be minimal. But what it got to be faster is gonna be your communication with your desktop environment. So that's gonna be huge. So I think like this is what I felt. So those kind of like CSR, SSR, SSG is kind of really huge thing. And the reason why I'm also trying to use I'm not gonna use the like Nest.js, those kind of stuff. I'm gonna use like React router or some kind of TanStax router, those kind of thing. Because since the desktop application, Electron application, is not really in terms of rendering capacity, the Electron does not care about CSR, SSR, SSG. Everything logic is gonna be based on your communication via process in your application. So there's the application. So this is a Have a nice listening. Bye bye.